Yes, but on the Wednesday and Friday of last week, we did a lot of graphing. It wasn't as much algebra. Not going to be much graphing today. All right, so we're here with our period one, first period of the day. Excellent. Monday, start off the week. And we're looking at two linear equations, linear functions that have been graphed. All right, we want to write the equation in slope-intercept form. So first thing we need to know is, what is slope-intercept form? Who's got it? Excellent. So we should write that down. Y equals mx plus b. So we need to find the slope. All right, that is the slope, and the y-intercept. If we can find those two things, then we can write down the equation here. Let's start with the one in red on my screen. The one in red. What is the y-intercept? 0, 2. Very good. So the y-intercept is 0, 2. Now the slope might be a little bit more challenging to find, but what I'd always recommend is just counting. All right? You can start at any point you would like. Most students start at the y-intercept, but it's up to you. I'm going to start at the y-intercept, and if you notice, I'm going to go to this point over here. Okay? Everyone see that? I'm going from the y-intercept to this point, but you could go to the other point. So how far do I count up? 2. So that's a positive 2, right? Because up is positive in the vertical direction. And then how far am I moving to the left? 5. And to the left in the horizontal direction is what? It's negative. Very good. All right, so I know it looks kind of funky, but the slope here is negative 2/5. I'm going to pause for any questions. Everybody good on how I got that? Yes. So are you good on how I got the 2? So I started at the y-intercept. I went up 2, because I want to get it to this point, Brianna. So up 2. That's where I wrote a positive 2. And I went left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get to that point. That's the negative 5 in the denominator. And I just cleaned it up. No one's ever going to write it like that. So I just cleaned it up to make it negative 2/5. David? Which one? This one here? Yeah, this one. So if you do this one, all right, you're going down 2, right? Down 2, which would be a negative 2. And then how far to the right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'd be a positive 5. So you'd have a negative divided by a positive, which would still be a negative. So it doesn't matter which direction you go. You could even go from this one to all the way to that one. You'd go up 4, left 10, which will reduce to negative 2/5. All right. I would never recommend skipping a point, because then you'll have to reduce. Everybody good? Okay, so let's write the equation. Y equals, the slope is negative 2/5, so negative 2/5 x. The y-intercept is 0, 2, so what am I going to write to finish this? Make sure there's an operation there. Plus 2. So if it had been 0, negative 2, what would I have written here? Minus 2. You could write plus negative 2, but that's the not cool way. Any questions on how I got the one for the red? Everybody good on the one in red? Excellent. Okay, let's do the one in blue. What is the y-intercept for the one in blue? Excellent. 0, negative 3. 0, negative 3 is the y-intercept for the one in blue. So again, you can go whatever points you like, whatever direction you would like. Personally, I'm going to start at the y-intercept and go to the next point that's here. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So up 4 is positive 4. How far am I going to the left? 1. So it's going to be divided by negative 1. You could write over 1, all right, but I'm not going to write over 1. I'm just going to write the slope is negative 4. Again, I will count it right if you put it over 1. That's fine, all right, but that's just not no mathematician would write it that way. Okay? So to finish the answer here, it's going to be y equals, what is our slope? Negative 4x. And then what am I going to write to finish it? Minus 3. Questions on the blue one? Questions on the blue one? Excellent. Okay. Shall we keep going? Excellent. Okay. Now, they're not always going to give you the actual line graphed. If they give you the line, that's how you do it. That's how you write it in slope-intercept form. Other times, they're going to give you some tables maybe. I might give you a couple of points, maybe the slope. So we're going to need a few more tools in our belt to be able to do this. So the one that you should know at this point in your math career is how to find the slope. Okay? That's the change in your y's divided by the change in your x's. Okay? You can also read that as y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Okay? Sub for subscript in the bottom. All right? Now, there's a lot of different ways to attack this. Okay? I just want to make sure you go slowly and label what is your first x value, what is your second. Okay? That's the most important thing. All right? So let's try one of these. Find the slope of the line that goes through these 2 points. Okay? So it doesn't matter how you label them. The way I'm going to label them is the negative 1, 1 are my first x and y. So that is x sub 1 and y sub 1, subscript 1. Okay? Now if I label those as my first x and y's, my 2 and negative 5 are going to be my second ones. Is everybody clear on what I'm doing here? I'm just telling my brain this is what you're going to use when you use the slope formula. Okay, so the formula for slope is the change in your y over the change in your x. The change in your y over the change in your x. Okay? So what is going to be the subtraction that I write for the numerator? Who's got the subtraction that I'm going to write for the numerator? Very good. Somebody said it. Negative 5 minus 1. All right, we have y sub 2 minus y sub 1. Okay, what about for the denominator? Interesting. I'm going to write 2 minus negative 1, but multiple students' brains already realize subtracting a negative becomes addition. So that's a great thought there. I just want to make sure you know we're always going to use subtraction. All right, it might turn into addition though. Okay, now in the numerator, that's negative 5 minus 1. The way my brain sees it is it's negative 5 and a negative 1. What's a negative 5 and a negative 1 when you add them together? Negative 6, because you add them and keep the sign. What about for 2 plus 1? That's going to be a positive 3, right? 2 plus 1 is 3. All right, so this slope reduces to negative 2. And if you wanted to write it as negative 2 over 1, that's fine, but I'm not going to do that. Any questions on how to find the slope? Now in this problem, they only gave us 2 points. But look at problem B. How many points do we have in problem B? We have 4 different ordered pairs. Very good. So when you find the slope for this one, you have options. All right, so I'm going to let Anna, you decide. What 2 points do you want to use? Okay, 5, 6, and 8 and 11. Excellent. How'd you choose those? Excellent. Very good. So we have the slope is the change in our y over the change in our x. Now, whenever I do a problem like this, I always pick that this is going to be my first x and y, and this is going to be my second, whatever way I list them. You don't have to. It's up to you. But I'm going to put this as x sub 1, y sub 1, and this is x sub 2, y sub 2. All right, so who's got our numerator subtraction? David, what's our numerator subtraction going to be? Excellent, very good. 11 minus 6, perfect. Jose, our denominator subtraction. Perfect, good job, Jose. All right, so let's get that. That's 5 over 3. So our slope is 5/3. Any questions on how to find the slope? Will I be giving you that formula for how to find slope on the test? No. Okay? You need to know how to find the slope. Everybody good? You guys ready to try a few? All right, so